faction of the People's Democratic Party, loyal to Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike, has rejected Saturday's expulsion of prominent party leaders at the convention in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. This even as 4 state chapters of the party have rejected the outcome of the convention in what observers see as a revolt against Governor Seyi Makinde's bid to exert his control of the party. On Friday, the PDP in its Ibadan convention expelled the FCT minister Nyesom Wike, former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose, the party's national secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, the national legal advisor, Ajibade and Austin Nwachukwu. Others are Mohammed Abdulrahman, Senator Ohabano, and Abraham Ama. Others are Chief Dan Obi and George Turner. A motion for the expulsion was moved by former National Vice Chairman of the PDP South, Chief Olabode George, as seconded by the Bauchi State PDP Chairman, Suleiman Baji, before its eventual adoption by the party's delegates. The convention sparked division among governors as Governor Umaru Fintri of Adamawa State, who chaired the National Organizing Committee of the convention, and the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mufwang, disassociated himself from the Wike expulsion. And just this morning, the camp, or rather the Wike camp, has said that it's laughable what happened in Ibadan, and also claimed that the action of the convention was null and void. And more twist and tension seems to be brewing to elongate that very drama. But as much as the political gladiators slug it out, Nigerians are worried about the build-up of political intolerance, not just in the People's Democratic Party, but also the gale of defection in the ruling All Progressive Congress, with rumor of the Taraba State governor defecting this week, Wednesday, from the PDP to the APC, and also putting fears on the minds of many who want to say that indeed Nigeria is now turning into a one-party state. But whether you seem to look at it differently, all we are looking at is that political observers are clearly looking out to all this drama, to a build-up to the 2027 general election, and a need for democracy to be sustained, and a need for us also to talk about it on the show today. And that is political alignment, tension, and intolerance build-up to the 2027 general election. And that's what we're looking at as a major discourse today. We're looking at the whole tension that seems to be brewing on account of our build-up to the 2027 general election, and what Nigerians are indeed expecting to see. And that's what we're having as a major discourse on the show today. And to truly help us talk about this, we have no other person but our very own. We're talking about Edewo Egedegbe. He's a human rights capital practitioner, executive director, Value Rebirth Center, director of studies, Value Rebirth Center, Leadership School, and Delta Studies Center. And he's also the coordinator, Transition Monitoring Group, Delta State Steering Committee, a member by the Side-by-Side Movement for Gender Justice and South-South Zone, and the BOT Chairman, Citizens' Rights Concern Enhancement Initiative, otherwise known as the Human Rights Protection Congress. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, anyway, I want to also first start with the whole drama that seems to be brewing in the PDP, with the latest that we've just heard, that 4 state chapters seem to have rejected the outcome of the Ibadan convention. And not only that, many feel that the governor of Oyo State seems to be wanting to have the control of the party, or have a party under his arm. But anyway, apart from the expulsion and all of that, I'm really interested in getting your view as it concerns the whole drama that is playing out in the PDP. And I want you to take our mind back to when it all started in 2023. Mm-hmm. So what's your reaction to all that seems to be happening in the PDP at the moment?
Okay, thank you once again for having me. What's happening to the PDP today is quite unfortunate. It's regrettable also that the supposed opposition party that was supposed to give, a fight to the current APC-controlled federal government, and largely almost the states are, falling into the APC, is not putting its house together. So it's quite unfortunate, and is helping to erode the beauty of democracy, where, you know, opposition will also be there to put the government at the center on check. But what we have today now is squabble within the PDP, you know, since, okay, prior to 2023, of course, when the primaries, you know, came up, the likes of Wike and the Atiku slugging it out, and how the thing turned, you know, that was the beginning of this, you know, crisis that is unabating as it is today. Now, when the thing happened, some of us were quick to say that, look, PDP should sit back. They should sit back and put their ass together. Whereas they come up to say, oh, PDP is a big family, we have a way of settling our matter. They are never settling those matters, indeed. So today, this is where PDP has gone into. It's so challenging that whereas there are several court processes saying that convention should not go on, we have another court coming, giving go ahead for convention to go on, matters at the you know, Court of Appeal. But with that, they still went ahead. And going ahead, you've seen the different, you know, reactions coming in. And don't also forget, prior to this convention, when that judgment came, that ruling came from, you know, the Federal High Court, then of course there was a split. So as it is today, there are two factions of the PDP. One controlled by the Anyanwu-led Ango, then the one controlled by the governor of Oyo State, Makinde-led group. So there's already a faction. Beyond the crisis that we were talking about before, it is clearly factionalized as it is today. So the Anyanwu faction is, in, you know, aligning with the judgment, the ruling of the Federal High Court in Abuja that says the convention should not hold. And that in case they want to go ahead, INEC should not, of course, be part of it.
And funny enough, INEC boycotted it.
INEC didn't show up. So it makes it so laughable, to say the least, that, so how do you now say you've done a convention when INEC, the electoral umpire who supervises whatever happened, you know, with political parties, is not part of it? You know, aligning with the ruling of a court. So it tells you one simple thing.
Yeah.
That Nigerian politicians of today, majority of them, they are so self-serving. They are so self-serving. So anything that happens to the people does not even count for them. It's just for them to, you know, to force themselves in leadership. That's what you know, agitate their minds. And that's what I think has played up in this angle. Now, the other day, people were saying Wike was taking the control of the PDP, he's been controlling the PDP and all that. And he boasted also in his own words too, that yes, when everybody was, you know, deserting the PDP, post-2015, when PDP lost power at the center, he remained. And as a governor, a two-time governor, he did everything to, you know, salvage the soul of PDP. And so if they say he's the one controlling it, well, he doesn't have regret for it. He said all of this at those points. Then, of course, prior to when he now wanted to contest for presidency, and he lost the primary, and that was the beginning of the trouble, where he said the presidential candidate cannot come from the north, and the chairman of the party come from the north, which led to the IU, you know, being ousted, and this acting chairman came in, and of course, the trouble continued. So, largely put, I think that these are not good signs for our, you know, democracy. They are not good signs. Opposition should, you know, organize, you know, itself to be able to give a government at the center a fight for their money. That's the way it's done in other places. So I think that they must recalibrate at a time like this as a party. Whatever it is, you know, it's interest that drives people. Politics is a game of interest. So, but when your personal interest override the corporate interest, then there's already a conflict. So I think that they should place self-interest to the background and let them, you know, enthrone that inclusiveness, that the people-centric approach to their aspiration. By that, I think they could come out of it.
Okay, now, I just want a quick question, or rather, we talked about the only way they can do is for them to galvanize around themselves and move ahead. But the question still remains. You brought it up, and I brought that up earlier. Do you see this party moving forward if the issues are played out during that primaries in 2022, May to be precise, 2022, that brought Atiku Abubakar to limelight? If those issues are not addressed, can this party really move on? Let's really look at it, because some of the underlying factors all started there. The grievances all started there. The bone of contention is that Wike is still not trusting some certain persons. He felt betrayed him during that primaries, with the main belief that yes, it was time for the South, but the North had to support, or rather the party had to support somebody from the North, which was former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. So let's look at it. Do you see this party moving ahead if those issues are not fully addressed?
I want to trace it back to the formation of PDP in 1998.
Okay.
You know, Nigerians were so gullible. So as a result of that, people just come ban things on us and we take them.
Okay.
When I was laughing when PDP keep clamoring that, oh, they are the biggest political party in Africa and all of that they have a way of settling their problems and their internal issues and all of that. Now, from the foundation, can somebody really tell me that, yes, PDP foundation was deep-rooted? Or rather, it is the coming together of some friends, political allies ideas, of like minds.
Yes.
Those time, they came up, put the PDP together. Because what you see today, the ideology of political parties is not festering in their day-to-day activities. All you see is self-serving missions. Self-serving missions. So does that translate to real democracy in practice? The answer is no. So until a foundation is deep-rooted, whatever you put on that structure will collapse. That's why it's collapsing. Even though they try to bamboozle Nigerians that they have a way of addressing their issue, they are never addressing them. There are mechanisms for addressing. They are never addressing them because they are founded on a faulty foundation. And it's not just PDP alone. The APC we see today, that's at the center now, I pray that they put their ass in order. If not, implosion will also hit it. Today, APC is celebrating that, oh, many governors are falling at the campaign to the APC. That is not the huru for them. I usually tell them because if all your thinking, your calculation is not people-centered, if it is self-centered, it will outlive its, it will just fade away in no time. And that's also is knocking on their door. APC is doing their 12-year journey now.
Yeah.
They've done 8 straight years. They are on their 12th year. The third tranche now. So PDP did 16. So they are 11th year now, APC, for instance. So I pray that they are also able to learn for what is befalling the PDP today, so that they are able to put themselves together. Or else, we'll just be a laughing stock. The other day, they say, oh, Nigerians fledgling democracy. I say, how can democracy be fledgling at over 25? 25, you need to be saying fledgling democracy.
It should be matured.
It's matured, not should, it's matured. 18 years is maturity age for Nigerians. So anything that has spanned beyond 18 is matured. So let's now give it the thought that it deserves as a matured political, democratic system. Not always saying fledgling democracy. When I hear people say these things, I say, look, we just use words. And we don't take to heart what the intendment of those words or the originality of those words is all about. So I think that for PDP, I fear for them. I fear for them because I'm not going to be surprised to hear the hammer from the courts saying that, of course, whatever happened in Oyo is null and void.
Because the INEC was not a part of it.
They were not part of it. They were duly, of course, served. They were published in papers, so nobody can even fail not having those rulings of court or judgments of court. So
okay, so let's leave the legal side of it and look at what really transpired there. And what transpired was the expulsion of Wike and his cohorts. Now, there's this strong belief that Wike is now sounding, with all due respect, like a mole in the PDP by the ruling All Progressive Congress to destabilize the party. And there's this view that if he does not leave the party, that party will never have a bearing. That's the view coming from no other person but Olabode George, and also Seyi Makinde. All of them feel the best way the party can move forward is Wike and his cohorts leaving the party. What's your reaction to that?
With due respect to Chief Olabode George, at his age, each time I listen to him talk, he's always lamenting on the front of television each time. And he's quick to saying that PDP is one of the biggest parties, that they have their way of, he's very quick to using that expression each time. But I'm also surprised that he was the first to make that move of expulsion of Wike and his team. Now, so at his age, he's supposed to be sitting at the back, advising the much younger people, based on his experience that he pride, everywhere he goes. But he's throwing tantrums most times. With his utterances, I listen to him a lot on Arise TV. I listen to his conversation channels. He's always lamenting, always calling names. That does not solve problem. It doesn't solve problem. So I believe that he's causing more damage to the soul of the PDP than he thinks he's doing them good, to my mind. Now, when you cause expulsion on Wike and his team, does that address the issue? But let's even now talk about the Wike. No doubt, Wike has brought a new order to our political lexicon.
Okay.
Yes. One, he was vehement, telling Nigerians when he saw what was meted at him at their convention in 2022. And he said he was not going to work with the party candidate because that the party candidate did not emerge through the regular process. But he was talked to at a point, okay, he considered, then with some conditions that, look, if I must work for the party because I believe in the party, because Wike said nothing will make him leave the PDP. They are boasted why he was governor and all of that. So maybe he's also guided by that and he wants to also remain there. Now, he told them, look, for me to remain, let the chairman of the party now come to the south, since the candidate was in the north. That was the beginning of the problem. And the then article didn't see any light in that. Of course, the issue of vice presidency came, and some people brought Wike or a name up. Then the man went for Governor Kowade as his running mate. So all of that helped to deepen the crisis. And Wike said, okay, it's fight to finish. Because politics is a game of fight. It's a game of scheming and maneuvering. So he maneuvered his way. He pitched tent, though in PDP, pitched tent with Asiwaju. He worked for him, delivered him, though he's in PDP. He delivered it. That's why I said Wike has brought a new lexicon to our body democracy in Nigeria. Whether you agree with it or not, is a reality today that we are faced with. So now, I expected that PDP should be more circumspect in managing that kind of person. Now, when President Tinubu won, when he was going to set up his cabinet, he reached out to Wike. And in Wike's wisdom, because it's very strategic in his own way of doing his own thing, he wrote to the party.
To the PDP.
To the PDP. The Damagu himself. He wrote to him that, look, of course, Nigeria is our country.
Yes.
The government of the day, they have requested that I serve in the cabinet. So I need the permission of my party to so do. And they endorse it for him. Damagu, I've listened to Wike said that over and again.
And nobody has come to debunk it.
Nobody debunked it. So he was, he went there. You can liken it to a secondment, though here, but he's serving the nation. Because the essence of PDP is also to get into power someday and serve Nigeria. Yeah. So who says that does our law forbids a ruling party getting somebody, because it's the preserve of the president to appoint whoever to become a member of his cabinet. And this guy surreptitiously has gotten the approval of the party to be there. So why are members of PDP crying, over speed milk? So I see that it's about self-serving interest for all of them crying. Okay, if yesterday it was PDP Wike controlling the party, today now it's Makinde. Yeah. Has it not shifted?
Yes, it has.
So you now see that it is not really for the soul of the party.
Okay, but who controls it?
But who controls it? That's all. as they continue in that trajectory, it's going to be difficult to salvage the soul of the party. And I think also, and I advise that other political parties should learn from the pitfalls that are befalling the current PDP.
Okay, now, as much as you've said that, I want us now to come to another major one, at least with extreme what seems to be in the PDP, and why you have strong reservation on how they can move forward if all these underlying factors are not really dealt with. But let's come to another major one. Just on Saturday, to be precise, day before yesterday, the governor of Taraba State had a briefing with journalists. And we on Dialogue, as always, were opportune to have that brief. And what he said he'll be decamping to the All Progressive Congress come on Wednesday. And we're talking about Abu Kefas. Now, if he decamps, this will make 5 governors that have left the PDP to the APC under 1 year. Now, the question now is, on the mind of many, is it that the APC is twisting these politicians, these governors, to take the bait? Or, just like the APC would come out to say, they are doing a great job and they are more stable. Hence, these politicians are decamping from their main party to the APC. What's your view on this? Because there's two sides of the tale. Those that feel they are being twisted, those that feel, no, stability exists here, come home.
No, there's no twisting there, in all fairness. Even I'm not speaking for any political party.
No, you are not of any political party.
So, for me, APC is just doing their thing.
Okay.
These governors are running for political survival. It's not aimed APC are twisting anybody. If they want to maintain their superiority of governors controlling their state party, state and party structure, they should remain. Yeah. But they believe that there is doom ahead for them if they stay with those parties. I think that's why they are threatening to the APC. But I've raised the red flag already earlier.
Expulsion.
Yes. I don't know, beyond the expulsion, that APC should not be savoring that, all is well.
Okay.
Because the coming of this governor is going to lead to another implosion. Don't forget, APC has their own issues.
Yeah.
APC as it is today, I stand to be corrected. I'm not aware of the board of trustees, if they have a board of trustees.
No.
I'm not aware if they have even had a convention. They were to do convention before now, but it's been shifted. November is almost going. We're not even hearing anything about convention. The only thing you hear APC is doing now is governors moving in. So if all of these governors moves in, what happens? Because they are moving in with interest.
Yeah.
They are moving in with their loyalists. So what happened to those members of the party before?
That were there.
That brought APC to where it becomes, a bride.
That labored for
yes, that a bride now that everybody is coming into. That's why I say implosion looms as well. Except
so it's not Eldorado for them.
No, it's never. Don't even go there. Don't let anybody also deceive you. And Mr. President should not get himself deceived. Because, sycophants are around all of them. Is he president or governor or even chairman of councils? They are surrounded by wolves in sheep's clothing, in my consideration, with due respect to them, that people will tell them things that are not working out there. They come make them believe that all is well, that is not well. So it is not because APC is twisting those governors. It is because they are seeking for their political survival. And they believe that, you mentioned 5. I can tell you here, safely also, that between now and June next year, if PDP could not put themselves together, there will be more of those governors leaving. You just mentioned Abu Kefas of Taraba.
Yes, of Taraba State.
Of course, the governor of Rivers State was not at the convention.
Yes.
He wasn't there. Rivers State was not represented at that convention. So that's to tell you that that's a likelihood of the Rivers also collapsing to the APC. Then, of course, the Barrister Mutwang of Caleb of Plateau State was at the verge of also moving, but he had some internal issues.
APC national chairman.
Yes, so that has not worked out. So those are the 3 that are in the waiting game, so to say. Now, that's for the now. Okay, the governor of is it Adamawa? No, not Adamawa. No, it's Bauchi State.
Okay. Bala Mohammed.
Bala Mohammed. And I think Bala Mohammed is also challenging some of the happenings today.
Yeah.
I think one of those governors also went to court to say that the primary should not hold. So all of those ones are in, danger zone.
Are you saying the instability in the PDP is also causing these defections?
No, but that is the reason now. That's why I said they fear for their political future.
Because we could still remember when Governor Umba of Enugu State defected in October, he said, he's defecting because of partnership with the Central, which he wants to bring development to his people. But most certainly another reason is instability in his own party he's leaving. So instability is a factor.
No, it's a factor. And you know, every governor that wants to leave, he will give you
a tangible reason.
He will give you a reason. You remember when our own governor in Delta here wanted to leave. And the spokesperson, the commissioner for information said when the taste of the palm wine has so there was a way he put that expression in our local parlance. And so they always have one way of qualifying their movement. So it's politics for you.
And we will not be drinking palm wine here now, but rather hitting the issue. So let's look at it again. As much as you've said you feel instability in the main opposition party is a reason. But my next question is democracy not hot or will be indeed giving a red eye if we have a one-party state? Because that's where it's turning out to be. You've just mentioned almost 3 that seems to be in the waiting and wanting to decamp. Are we going to finally have a one-party state and will it not hurt democracy? It's a major question.
No, one-party state can never be healthy for any democratic practice. It can never be healthy. Now, in America, we know of their own. It's been there.
Yes.
But certainly not a one-party state.
No, of course not.
Is it that the Democrat
or the Republican? Or independent?
Or independent. It's been like that. So it's never one party. And, don't forget that democracy is not our thing. It's a borrowed thing. So we cannot claim to knowing it more than the people that owns it that we borrowed it from. So one-party state is not uru for us at all.
Okay.
Which is why opposition parties should get better organized. Better organized. Now, another challenge that is even also affecting the fabric of our political gladiators in Nigeria is the fact that they find it difficult in staying in opposition to challenging the status quo. They are bread and butter politicians who do not have, what I consider as the policies and programs, a manifesto that you
sellable.
Yeah, that you thought about, you brought it out and shared it with Nigerians, and you want to hold on to it to see how you drive it meticulously. We don't have that character, so it's a challenge, which is why I'm saying that opposition should get themselves much more organized. Now there is an ADC in the corner now. There is an ADC in the corner, which is that came up like the way APC came up in 2014 prior to 2015. But again, you see that they've nosedived after a while now. Not much is happening there. It's only PDP that is talking. Then Labour that had to be prior to 2023 election is also almost going to the cooler. So the question you ask yourself, so is this really the problem of Mr. President causing disaffection in all of this party? I will tell you, capital no. Capital no. It is because those same people, gladiators of those parties, are not seeing beyond their nose. They are not seeing beyond themselves. They are not ready to sacrifice for a better tomorrow for their party. So they believe in the bread and butter politics that you must be in the ruling party to be able to survive in Nigerian politics. Don't forget, Nigerian politics is more juicy than even the oil job like we used to have it in those days. Today now is find your way to politics and you get one appointment, you use, the patrimony of the state under your coffers to fest yourself in office perpetually. So politics is like, a a golden ticket now in the Nigerian equation. Which citizens must stand against? Which citizens must stand against? Now, who are these citizens? It is these citizens that also will metamorphose into becoming, a thorn on the flesh of Nigerians when they get into office. So it's a real quagmire that we find ourselves as a people. But I think also we won't stop hitting the nail on the head as God keeps us alive. We will always speak truth to power. Those who have ears, let them hear. But I say this also, that whatever anybody thinks he's doing today, power is transient. Yeah. Today you are here, tomorrow you will be there. So because of tomorrow, do well today. Because there is a tomorrow for every today. And until we are able to have this at the back of our mind, that now inform our decision, our policy formulation, and even implementation, then we will be just running around the circle without making any positive moves after all.
Well, anyway, we're really moving on our discussion. And in case you're joining us, yes, is dialogue that the very first for the very week. And we're talking about the issue of what seems to be playing out in the make-believe, or main, as they call them, opposition party in the country. I'm talking about the People's Democratic Party. And not just looking at that, but also looking at what seems to be happening also in the ruling All Progressives Congress, as we're having a gale of defections. And more will follow, just like what we've just learned, that of Taraba State Governor Agbo Kefas will be decamping to the APC come on Wednesday, which is next tomorrow, this very week. But anyway, as much as we're looking at that, is it good for democracy to almost have a one-party state? How would democracy really fare on that issue of one-party state? Is it going to end up like we have in China, when it's being controlled by the Communist Party and only the Communist Party? Well, anyway, not me saying, but the question many Nigerians are asking. But anyway, like we said, we still have no other person, but I'll call him Comrade Dewa Gedegbe, helping out with all our knowledge of what seems to be transpiring in the country. Well, anyway, you've just talked greatly about all the drama that seems to be playing in most of the party. Undermining, we still have the ADC coming up, if they will come up, and the PDP still emerged in a whole lot of controversy, especially on account of that convention and what seems to be the power play between the Wike bloc and not the Atiku anymore, because he's not in ADC, but the Makinde bloc, who feels he can contest against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, knowing he's also come from the southwest and is trying to see how he can hold on to that very party. Let's leave all of that, but talk to another major one, because whether we like it or not, elections will take place in 2027. And we've already started seeing some moves being made by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Just in the news today, we learned that some states are already leading in the pre-registration exercise, which, when it started, we brought you on board and you greatly talked about. I want us now to go there. Let's leave the politicians, but talk about the umpire. Now, some states are leading with almost 2.3 million votes, while others are lagging behind, especially those from the southeast. But my own now is, are you satisfied with the pre-registration itself? And do you feel this will impact positively as it concerns the elections?
Yeah, thank you. That's another very crucial aspect that we really should beam our torchlight on. I'm not really satisfied.
Okay.
I'm not satisfied for several reasons. One, the publicity on the pre-registration on the part of INEC is not very comely, to my mind.
Okay.
Because at a point, the INEC chairman who began the process, got his tenure ended, and a new man came on board. Now, since this new man came on board, not much has been heard.
Okay.
And that is making a whole of those operations very sketchy.
Yeah.
And time is running.
Yeah.
That's why I say I'm not satisfied. Yeah. For example, network has been a major problem in the pre-registration exercise. We visited a lot of, particularly in Delta here, a lot of those INEC offices, and maybe in some of the offices you have just one machine, some have just two machines for capturing. Now, a local government that have thousands of people who want to register, and you cannot register more than 60 persons in a day. Oh yes, I know that as a fact. Registration starts by 9 a.m. in the morning, closes by 3 a.m. The portal will be shut. So, how do you now capture a number of thousands of Nigerians who are voting age or those who may not have had interest before now and then suddenly have interest, they are eligible, they want to come in. Now, we're talking about registering 60 people because of the processes, time frame in a day. And there are some days that network may not even allow for registration of up to 10 people. And I understand that this process the first phase will terminate, I think, by less than a month, in December. Now, there is a constitutional review that is ongoing, yes, that is likely to bring election cycle back to November. So when you put that, juxtapose it with the right of Nigerians to be registered to vote and be voted for, and the system that will register them is not up and running as it should run. Are you not going to now disenfranchise Nigerians by that inept? So that's an issue. So I think that INEC should also, double their effort. Double their effort and address those ills that are emanating from, their centers. Ordinarily, by now, there is, when you say 10 to 20 machines should be at the INEC local government offices, dedicate one to a ward. Dedicate one to a ward. If it has to be at the center, at the local government office for control reason, which is also fair for managing the process so that it's not hijacked by whatever. That's fine. Then, if you're able to do one machine per ward, for local government that have 10 wards, you give them 10 machines. Local government have 11, 12, you give them as that. So you are able to have some level of control and decency. But this one I told you now, my local government, for instance, they have 2 machines. Just 2. And that's a local government that has over, there are some wards there that has more than 30-something voting units. Times 11 ward in a local government.
That's close to 330.
Yes.
360.
Yeah, so now, and there are people of voting age in those same wards. You are now using 2 machines to capture them. And there are days that network will not just be there. There are weeks that network will be epileptic throughout.
And nobody being captured.
Nobody being captured.
On the mind, there's a time frame.
On the mind, there's a time frame. That's why I said a lot more has to be put in that process. And I'm using this opportunity to call on INEC to do proper extension. They shouldn't hurry anything because they could be taken up in legal contest for disenfranchising people if they want to go ahead. So I'm speaking to them now that they have to consider elongating the registration process and let them come with more equipments. Then, of course, break it down to the ward level. Let registration move to the ward centers. From that, for instance, I come from the riverine part of this state, and most of those areas, network is not even there. So there should be some level of, makeshift arrangement to capture those people there so that they are not disenfranchised. Or else, then their right would have been freed upon, and that's a cause for action.
Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, still talking about a cause for action. Yes, it all went down like a week or 2 ago when we had the Anambra governorship election being concluded and won by the incumbent, Dr. Chukwuma Charles Solodo. Many will say, yes, it might not have been the doing of this new INEC chairman. We're talking about Professor Amopitan, but rather of his predecessor was the one that planned all of that. But I want a quick assessment coming from your own part on how you felt the election went. Give us some minus and some plus and what you feel this man needs to do to indeed, more like preparation for the general elections come 2027.
Okay, yes, it will be too early to speak on Amopitan's led INEC because it's barely a month in the office.
Yes.
I believe
and it will not be fair to him.
It will not be fair, yeah. So I believe it's also, looking at the issues, what he has met on ground and all of that, getting briefing from all the different departments and all that. And in between this time too was when he has to go and superintend over the INEC obstacle elections. So it will be too hazy to assess him. Yes. Yeah. But I want to say that let it not say that, he's just coming in. Because when his name was trusted up, he consented to it, and he knows that
he knows the job.
He knows the job that is up for him. So he better brace up and hit the ground running without the normal excuse of lame excuse of Nigerians when they get into office. They say they want to acclimatize. You don't acclimatize. You don't prepare inside war. You prepare for war. Going to superintendent over INEC, a controversial Nigerian INEC, you know that's a thing that you need to ask for even a 48-hour, a 24 hours to be able to scale up all of your actions. Yeah. So I expect him to double his effort. That's on the one hand. Then going to talk about the just concluded Anambra election where Governor Soludo was returned as declared by the returning officer. I wasn't there on ground to monitor, but from some of our colleagues that were on ground, they spoke to the fact that yes, it was better. Okay. Yes, in terms of mobilization of materials to the polling units, collation was a lot much better than what we had before. However, they were not unmindful of stating the fact that vote buying was very rampant, and that's an issue that INEC need to deal with. Okay. They need to deal with it, and also it's also another issue that I want the constitutional amendment on the election amendment should also look into. Okay. Vote buying has been very, very
institutionalized.
Institutionalized in our body politic. Okay. There should be a direct legislation to address that. It's not me and you that will go and buy vote.
No, we don't have.
We don't have the means to do so. It is those who have amassed a lot of wealth from our patrimony using their offices. They are the people that trust this money on those people. So we must discourage that with every opportunity that we have, especially with the instrumentality of law. So there should be a proper legislation that will address that going forward. And of course, I've said here before and in other platforms that look, because Nigerians are very slicky, particularly political gladiators, they will leave a loophole in the legislation so that they can explore that when the election comes. So such loophole that we've identified over time, that even our courts of course up to the Supreme Court have highlighted, they should make their way to the new amendment.
To make it law.
To make it law in the Electoral Act. So that nobody will have any excuse or justifying why some certain things were done. For instance, INEC should be very clear that going forward, we have said that election results should be announced, transmitted from the polling unit to the IRF portal. Then straight to the server. So we must, remove collation at the ward level.
Because really has no impact.
It doesn't have anything, because that's where the Oboju comes up. Ward level and local government level. We can do without them. Yeah. Now you have your polling unit translated to the IRF portal. Then it's collated from there. You collect it from there, the unit by unit collation, add it together. It's not difficult. But let them now remove those bottlenecks between ward collation and the local government collation. So by that, we will eliminate their normal Greek and toxic way of manipulating, winners of election, then turning them to losers. So these are some very clear-cut things that INEC must, respond to. And another point that I should also emphasize here is the fact that in the amendment ongoing, that thing suits me so well that now INEC will now be the one to defend the election result in a court. Not the loser, not the purported loser who has gone to court to prove that it's been rigged out. Then INEC will say, okay, go and prove. And that was where our people will say, go to court. Because they know that when they go to court, INEC and of course, who they've declared winner, they are on one side. Yes. Then of course, security on one side usually. Then the loser against all of them. So that is changing now with the new amendment. And I pray that sails through and Mr. President give us sense to those amendments. Whereas now that INEC will be the one to defend how that person they gave certificate of return, how he merited that certificate of return. If they are not able to prove that, then of course the court will turn it around, and by that INEC will be sitting up. They will not be playing with my franchise, your franchise on election day.
Okay, well, anyways, as much as you've said this, time is not a friend. You won't believe we've been talking for close to an hour now. But I want, before we go, I want you to set the standard. It will be fair if you do so.
Yes.
I want you to set the standard for what you feel the general elections will be. That's number one. And a follow-up question to that: do you see Nigerian politicians living above board and being a bit civil as it concerns our elections, knowing that what's transpiring already? Do you see that happening?
Okay, thank you. I see that happening.
Okay.
I see that happening, and that will be occasioned by the resolve of Nigerian citizens.
Resolve of Nigerian citizens.
Nigerian citizens. You know,
how is that?
Nothing good comes easy.
Most certainly.
So, Nigerian citizens should wake up and put our elected and appointed officers to task each time. We are too gullible. I've said this everywhere. I've even politely and, of course, with all modesty, engage politicians at different levels. There are people I was always appearing with in talking about, you know, in the civil society space, talking about inclusive governance, and today some of them are legislators. They've turned a blind eye to those same things that we were canvassing before. And we watch them, we celebrate them when they come back. See.
So they are not practicing what they preach?
No! Do you see a governor of a state going to commission a 1 kilometer road? Does that make any sense? And if you know what follows governor from one meeting that he goes out of office, you see the number of cars that go with them. All of that is the state patrimony. Check our budget. Government budget, recurrent expenditure, government house expenditure is much more than many ministries put together. What are they using it for? So it is for our populace, the electorate, to hold our government to account. Ask them questions. They weaponize poverty so that prior to election, they come throw some pittance at you, and you say, oh, the governor tried for me, commissioner did this for me, and so you want to ferret towards. That's not it. So they can be above board. Back to your question. If citizens are able to live up to their responsibility by holding them to account, how will I not be able to call a commissioner representing me at the State Executive Council? How will I not be able to have easy access to the House of Assembly member representing me? I should have access to them because they are representing me there. They should know what I'm feeling so that will help them to know exactly the laws to make or the oversight function to embark upon. But once this synergy is not there, once we see them as, oh, they are our leader, how will somebody you send message become your leader overnight? All of those are wrong assertions that they are becoming norm in our society. Some of us, we don't take them with due respect to whoever they are. We don't take such assertions because you are a servant of the people. You serve the people. So society must come of age. Nigerians must come of age to know that these are some basic tenets that entrenches democracy. Not just those gullibility that we pride around. It doesn't concern me. Who said? Who said? I was talking to some people recently who came to talk to me from one of those faiths that, they don't participate in election and all. I said, you don't participate in elections and you get salary from government that was a product of elections? How do you reconcile that? So we must be deliberate about engaging the system. That's one way for them to operate by the rule. Then secondly, citizens also should also throw their heart into the ring. Let's not leave politics for some charlatans alone. Because when you say you don't want to get into it,
it's dirty.
Because it's dirty. I've said over and again, politics is not dirty. It is the operators of politicians that are either dirty or white. Politics is on its own. It is the operators. And inside that dirty operators, there are also neat ones that you can give it to. So why not those who have seen that politics is dirty? Now, I usually tell people, If there is no darkness, what will be the relevance of light?
No.
If they are dirty, that's why you that
need
carry
to
the
be
light,
light.
go down and shine the light. So it's not enough to just sit down in one place, do armchair criticism, and you don't want to participate. No. That's why from time, since 1991, I've been engaging in electioneering. From that time to today, that's quite some years. And it's one thing that can help us to enthrone a system. So I believe that Nigeria will get it some point when all of us, you and I, we're always talking here, we go to the field. You know, we're always in the field, trying to engage our citizens, to, you know, conscientize them, build their capacity to know what their rights are, what their privileges are, then of course what their responsibilities are.
Well, anyway, I need to thank you so much. Time is not a friend. We've been talking for close to an hour now. And, well, it's always been enjoyable to have your insight, especially as it concerns our election, your deep regard and also hunger for a more sustained democracy seem to really reflect so much. But I would really want to say thank you so much. And I'm talking of no other person. Comrade Dewa Egedebe, I always enjoy it when I say you have devalued the rebate, because we need to change the mindset of almost all Nigerians.
Absolutely.
For us to have a better one. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation and also adding your voice, not only to the betterment of the electoral umpire, but also to the intolerance that seems to be existing in our political spaces. Thank you so very much for doing that. Thank you so much.
It's always my pleasure.
Well, anyway, for me, it's more like a wrap on the show today. It has really been interactive and straightforward it is. But I'll tell you, remember, the show does not end here and now. Let's always have your views on our different social media platforms. They'll be there right there on your screen, so you can interact, share, and comment. And I will be more than happy to have all of those views right here on the platform. But for me, Michael Gobade, what we need to do now is go on a break. Remember, the news will come around the hour. I'm already feeling it. Something is cooking. Trending it is. But get ready, and it's all right here on Viewpoint.